How's it going, guys? D Blacktail here, bringing you guys another Samurai 8 video. And today we're going to be talking about chapter 25. But before that, I just want to apologize for my inconsistency as far as my videos go. I've been sick, and I've been doing midterms and whatnot for school, so I've been a little bit busy. But we should be getting more back in line with my schedule. One major change that I will be doing, so I've been trying to follow along with the official translation, but that comes out on Sundays, and I'm usually in the thick of doing homework at that time, so I'm gonna move back to the scanlations on Fridays because that's usually my off days and I have the most time and freedom to do kind of what I want to do. So chapter reviews Fridays, and then I'll post more discussion videos throughout the week as I get time, like I was originally doing. So, still read the official, Sundays, 3 o'clock, or, if you live in Texas or wherever you're from. Scanlation, I will be dropping my videos on Fridays now. And the recent string of chapters, before I start talking about chapter 25, we're all great. We got Ryu versus Hachimaru last chapter, and that was amazing. Ryu basically dominated Hachimaru the entire fight. That was just the choreography, the detail in the fight, and then Hachimaru going back in time to his flashback and remembering how his father built him a cane, and we saw back in chapter 2 or 1 or whatever, where he had the hidden cane, and we haven't seen that. It had turned into a sword when he became a samurai. So we haven't seen the samurai cane sword since like chapter 1. It's been like 24 chapters, and so he remembers that, and he's like, I'm not alone. I still have everyone beside me. I have Anne. I have Daruma, I have Hayataro, and I still have the memory of my dad. And so his flashback was basically him saying, like, I didn't think I would be anything without my father, basically. And so it was just a nice touch. And then it was a nice callback to Dr. Furuta. I don't think that's the last Dr. Furuta flashback we're gonna get. I believe we're gonna get, as Hachimaru progresses, we're gonna get a little bit more in depth about how the relationship was. So that's just my little notes on the previous 2 chapters. We got stuff about the samurai souls, and I want to do a video on that. That video will be coming out sometime this I don't want to say this week. Yeah, probably this week, after I'm done with my papers and typing my papers and whatnot. I was supposed to do an Anna's Best Girl video, and I still really want to do that, but let's wait until the end of this arc before I do that video, because I know we're gonna get more Anne hype because the tournament has just picked up, right? So and we're gonna talk about that in this recent chapter. So yeah, let's just get into it. So the beginning of the chapter is Ryu reattaching Hachimaru's hand, and he's like, are you okay? And Hachimaru's like, yeah, thank you, and then Hachimaru notices that that the counter for them is down to 1. So he asks Daruma, hey, did you drop out? And Daruma's like, yeah, but Hachimaru's like, I want to fight you at full strength. Which Hachimaru is kind of stupid. You're not fighting Daruma at full strength anytime soon. You barely got through this tournament alive. So, Hachimaru getting a little full of himself, but he wants to use it to train and get better, because he wants to catch up to Ata, but he's rushing. So I think that there's a callback to back in, I believe, chapter 7 or 8, where Daruma's telling Anne, not to rush, and like you shouldn't rush things. You should enjoy the journey. Basically, I'm not really sure what verbiage he used, but he was like, you should take your time. And it's the same message that Yasha was giving to Daruma, like, you shouldn't be so quick, quick, hot-headed and whatnot. And that's exactly what Hachimaru is doing at this exact moment. So, I think that Hachimaru's obsession with Ata is gonna make him lose some things, because that's the only thing he's focused on right now. And so we're gonna get into that later on in this chapter. But let's talk about Ryu and Katsuga, right? And Ryu and Katsuga's relationship has been a little wonky, but they've been really good together, They have like perfect chemistry essentially. Ryu and Katsuga back in, I think, chapter 16 or 17, where they broke into the ship, they have this very tight-knit relationship for two people that have only been together for 1 month. And Ryu basically places all his trust into Katsuga, and this has been shown repeatedly. And Ryu even is interested in Hachimaru by saying that these guys are good guys. So Ryu thinks Hachimaru and Katsuga are good guys, right? And so, God, I love Ryu. I love Ryu. Ryu is like probably one of my favorite characters in the manga right now. Like, he's just so calm, level-headed, quick thinking. He just drips. He oozes awesomeness. All right, he was much needed in the series. So Ryu was great, but more into the Ryu and Katsuga relationship, right? Their relationship is it's almost like similar to Hachimaru and Anne. And I saw some theories on Reddit where it's saying that Katsuga is Ryu's princess, and I abide by that theory. I've been saying that Katsuga is a princess this whole time. But before we get into that, because there's some more information in here that might lead us to that. So, Katsuga asks Ryu, are you okay? And don't worry about losing to Hachimaru or whatever. And it seems like Katsuga has like a little bias against samurai. So I want to get into that right now, because I want to explain something later on that happened in this chapter. So Katsuga, right? Katsuga, he's always shown to say, oh, these samurai are cocky, or they look stupid, or you're an idiots or whatever. And he doesn't do that with Ryu. So there is some history there. We're not sure what it is yet or where it's going and whatnot, but there is some history there. Katsuga has some back past that makes him, feel this way about samurai, but he doesn't feel this way about Ryu. And maybe maybe we'll get a flashback in a couple chapters and whatnot, or maybe next chapter, where Ryu and Katsuga, it shows them meeting, and like Ryu might have saved Katsuga or whatever, or Ryu might have changed Katsuga's interpretation of what a samurai is, to make him feel like, Katsuga's worthy of calling a good guy. Because I feel like Katsuga's not bad at heart, essentially. But let's keep going with this chapter, right? So, the other samurai, the defeated samurai around with Ryu and Katsuga, they're congratulating Hachimaru on winning a tournament. And there's this little interesting... I just like how they're handling the other samurai. I'm glad they're not just little one-offs. I feel like they might be important a little later. I feel like there's gonna be a group fight. But I'm gonna get into that more. So the sponsor lands onto the planet, and the sponsor, I like how when he was coming down onto the earth, he had like this I forgot what it's called, but it's like spaceships when they're crashing into the earth or meteorites, whatever. They'll get like a flare around them or whatever when they're crashing into the earth. So I thought that was a little nice, cool little artistic touch. It looked really badass. And then boom, they crashed into the planet, right? So we get this sponsor, and I believe his, I think it's a cow / monkey, because it has like a monkey's tail in the back, like gorilla / cow / bull. It's something, all right. This thing is freaking ridiculous, all right. So I believe it's called Ushiwaki Maru. I believe is what he's called. The sponsor calls it. And so they land on Kinka, and as he's landing or whatever, while he's in the air, I skipped over there. He's talking to someone saying, "Hey, I'm about to land. Get in position, get ready. I don't want to deal with any. I don't want to deal with any unnecessary confrontations." So we think that he's talking to this sniper samurai who is stationed like somewhere else on the island. He's like hanging off a building, and it looks like he also possesses a swan like the other samurai that we saw. So maybe there's like a bird group or a spy group or whatever of samurai, and they only use birds. So this sniper samurai, he's basically locked in on the entire area of where Hachimaru and the other samurai are, and he's basically waiting for looking out basically. And so he cocks his gun, and so we think initially that this guy is gonna kill Hachimaru, which is what I thought, because I was like, okay, because I've always thought in my previous chapter reviews of this arc that the sponsor was working with someone else, like he wasn't just alone. So I thought that this was this guy, but no, we're gonna get that review soon. So the sponsor samurai lands on Kinka, and then Hachimaru has some internal dialogue where he's like, "Damn, this guy's like huge, like, and this guy is massive compared to everyone else. Like this guy is like a freaking giant." I believe last chapter, the cover page, it was like Hachimaru getting into like this old worn-torn mech suit. So he's about the size of that mech suit alone, and he's just full of muscle. He's just built, all right. So Hachimaru notes that, hey, this guy, he looks like he's as strong as Ata, right? And so we have to remember that Hachi's in his mind, he thinks that the clone, he knows that the clone, he thinks Ata is as strong as the clone that was on Earth. That's not the case. The real Ata has 4 samurai souls. The real Ata has a princess. The real Ata has his own samurai soul. The real Ata has his key holder, and his key holder is like the size of a space holder. And we've seen what space holders can do from what Mugen looked like in his Garuda outfit, which was amazing, by the way. So we know where we can go with it, the scale of where we could go with this type of armor. So Hachimaru is crazy and thinking this guy is as strong as Ata. Alright, so I'm thinking he's comparing him just to the clone, because that's the only fight that he had. So I believe in that context of looking at things, that in this fight, that Hachimaru is essentially, we're seeing Hachimaru's growth from the time he fought Ata's clone to now to someone that's of similar strength. Now, I don't necessarily think this guy's as strong as Ata's clone. He could be, but we'll see. So let's get into this chat. So let's get more into this. So they're talking, and the sponsor is basically telling Hachimaru, hey, you win, you get $1 billion. The rule's the same. if your key gets damaged, you lose. If you beat me, you get the $1 billion yen. Hachimaru's like, I don't want that, I want you. And there's this little gag between him and the sponsor, where the sponsor's like, oh, a combatant's never confessed to me before. So that was a little funny. Oh, and I can't believe I almost missed over this. 15 minutes in the video. Oh my god, I'm losing my Anne status, right? So Anne was in this chapter, right? And she just looks so cute. Alright, she looks shy and scared and nervous, alright. But fuck that, Anne is the best girl still, and she was freaking adorable. So she, just noticed that, this guy is strong or whatever. He's supposed to be our ally. She's like not sure of that. So I feel like there's like a little connection between samurai souls and princesses can kind of feel and kind of tell who's kind of good or bad. And she felt like this guy was, off. So further on into the chapter, Daruma is like, hey, this guy is weird. So he brings out his AI key, and he looks at the guy. And so we get this black and white panel, and I believe that every black and white kind of panel where it's like just kind of like an outline is what Daruma sees. And I kind of mirror this to how how Admiral Fujitora in One Piece, how he's able to see, although he's blind, he's able to see with observation haki, and he basically sees like the outlines of the people around them. So that's basically what Daruma has, except in like high definition, basically, because he can basically see everything that's outlined, like the person's clothes, body type, all that good stuff. So he notices that this guy's samurai soul, and I'm probably gonna wait until the end of this arc to do the samurai soul video, because we're getting a lot of little bits and pieces of nuggets on samurai souls. Like the last chapter we got with Daruma and Yasha and that flashback, and Daruma's like, hey, Yasha's telling Daruma, you'll notice a key to Pandora's box because they'll have a pure, uncorrupted samurai soul that's white and shiny, right? So Daruma notices that this guy's samurai soul is not white, it's not shiny, but it's murky, which means it has some corruption in the soul. So this makes me go back to all the way to the beginning, where we got the vampire sword, this sort of Dojikiri Takasuna, which was embedded in Hachimaru, and how it had this deep red color, which was different from all the other samurai souls that we've gotten. Essentially, we've only seen like white, and so this one had like a dark color to it. So I believe that once you kill enough people, or there's a way to achieve a perfected, corrupted samurai blade, like the vampire sword, which was full of all corruption, is what I'm taking it as. So Daruma notices that this guy's samurai soul is all corrupted and whatnot, and so we get the analysis of it. He, after he's done analyzing this guy, it spits out some feedback, and this guy's name, the sponsor's name, is Benkei, or Ben the Hunter. And Benkei is a famous samurai from Japanese mythology or whatever. He went on a journey to collect 1,000 samurai swords from people who he deemed were unworthy. So we might get a little feedback, a little bit of feedback on maybe Benkei. He realized that, hey, these samurai don't deserve their keys or whatever, or they don't deserve samurai to be samurai, and so that's why he's out here, doing what he's doing, collecting these keys and whatnot. And so we get this another panel, and maybe that's what Katsuga is a part of this operation. Like, they both don't like the idea of samurai or something, and so Hatsuga's like, hey, you're getting rid of samurai. I want to get rid of samurai. Let's team up and get rid of samurai. So maybe that's how, they got together and whatnot. So Ben the Hunter, he's a famous criminal in the Ball Federation galaxy, which is the galaxy that they're currently in. And I did a video known as The World So Far, where I stated that the different galaxies we've basically seen most of them. There's the Ball Galaxy, which Hachimaru's in. There's the Triangle Galaxy, where we first saw in the first chapter with Yasha and Daruma, and I speculated that this might be the strongest, samurai area, because there was like a exploding star or something that was really badass. So maybe there's something with that. Let's keep going. So, he's a wanted criminal. He's a first-rate swindler, and he's a part of this race called the Oni race. So this is the first introduction of a new race outside of humans and outside of samurai. Well, cyborg humans, and their animals, the key holders and whatnot, the holders and key holders. So I kind of assumed that Otto was something other than a human, but now that we're exploring the galaxy, we're gonna start getting more world building, and I'm so fucking excited for the world building, because that was like my number one complaint with Naruto. I felt like the world building was very lacking, so I hope Kishimoto does this right. I hope no Naruto's fans come down my throat. Please don't. It's not a bad thing. Naruto was great for what it was worth. I just felt like there was some inconsistencies with the world building. But anyways, so we get our first introduction to the Oni race. Ben, he no longer has his horns anymore, but he had it in his younger days. He had horns and whatnot, full horns. So I'm guessing he lost this in battle over time. So further, we get more time between the sniper, right? We flash back to the sniper. And so the sniper, he snipes at Ben. Ben puts up a shield, and Ben's like, you're stupid because I'm watching everything from above. And he really was doing that, so we gotta hype Ben up. Like, he has been in full control of the tournament and everything going on in it from the very start. Like, he cut off communications, he shielded the planet off from basically the outside world. They're not able to communicate with the outside world, which we've been able to see that samurai can communicate off the planet to other people back when Princess Yoon was talking to Princess Sa about Hachimaru. That was back then. So this guy, he knew of the presence of the Federation police that were on the planet, which was great. And so, good on Ben. Ben's already being a dope, consistent villain. All we need is a good fight, and I will be set on Ben. So further, we get Ben. He says that before we get to Ben, back to the Swan Samurai that Hachimaru clashed with. And this guy, his name is Commander Sin. And I'm assuming it's like the Galactic Federation Police. And he's looking for one of the people that he's looking for is Ben the Key Hunter. And it said that he's looking for a cat samurai and their student also on this planet. So I don't think, maybe it's not Hachimaru and Daruma, maybe it's someone else. So I think that there is going to be even more to this arc that we're not seeing to completion yet. So he's on his way back there to the fight scene, and apparently they're able to share like visual sites, because he says that, hey, I'm gonna need like a 60-second video of what's going down over there, and he's on the way. And that's pretty fast if he can get there for 60 seconds, but whatever. So we get back to Ben. Ben's like, alright, you found me out. I'm just here to hunt the keys that I lured here falsely. And so, in the data that Daruma had, it stated that Ben was a former user of the Gozanze style, right? And the Gozanze style is one of the, 5 schools that Fudo left behind. So, this school, right, the Gozanze school, it apparently had a purpose. And its purpose was to eliminate ignorance, greed, and whatnot in humans. So, here... Okay. I just found the panel. Alright, so here it goes. So, in general, the Gozanze styles wanted to eliminate the 3 poisons: greed, hatred, and ignorance. These 3 trends that humans cannot conquer during the past, present, and future, the Gozanze style sought to eliminate. So, my theory is that the Gozanze style, since he's a former member, Ben's a former member of this style, that since his soul is corrupted, that maybe he's fallen into the depravity that this school was trying to prevent. So, and we get a little bit of that where he's saying that I'm just here to eliminate all the key hunters that I lured here, which is a little bit of greed, because he's doing this for money. He only cares about money. So we don't really know what his purpose behind it is, but we do know that he is no longer a part of this style of fighting, and that this style or this school that he was a part of's sole purpose was to eliminate these things, or they were against these things. So that was pretty interesting. So hopefully we get a little bit more in depth on that. And so the final shocker of this chapter was the sponsor talking to Kotuga. And Kotuga, he was like, hey, don't get flustered, Kotuga, just because they figured us out. Get the princess. And if we get the princess, we can stop any unnecessary confrontations. So he attacks the princess. So Kotuga attacks the princess. Daruma's like, so this was what his plan was. And that's the end of the chapter. Honestly, this was a amazing chapter. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I was hyped from start to finish. I have been loving this festival arc so far because it's given us a combination of Ryu and Kotuga, their interactions, and we're getting more friendly, coordinated relationship between them and the main cast of Hachimaru, Daruma, and Anne. And they bring their own comedy and interestingness to the group that kind of lacked at the beginning of the story. Like, it's a different type of tone when Kotuga's speaking versus Hagamichi speaking, or Nanashi speaking, or, Ata or whatever. So it's just, they bring a different breath of fresh air to the story. And it combines with Hachimaru's quirky character, where he's a little bit goofy, but he's also very serious all at the same time. And so we're getting more training for Hachimaru to hone his already battle knowledge that he has. He just has to turn it into experience to get his body up to speed with his brain, basically. So we're getting that. We're getting character development for Anne. We got Anne's flashback a few chapters ago with her and her brother, and that was beautiful to see from start to finish. We got the Swan Samurai. We got Galactic Police now. We got Key Hunters. We have the Oni race from this chapter. We got a little bit of a flashback between Daruma and Yasha. And Yasha's basically telling Daruma, setting up for this journey of looking for Pandora's box. And this was set up before Daruma entered his cat body or whatever's going on. So they've been searching for this key these keys ever since Daruma was, back in his human body, still training under Yasha, and when he had Ata as a student, because that's mentioned in there as well. So we've gotten so much condensed into these like past 8 or 9 chapters, and it's just been flawlessly executed. The pacing has been done really well this arc. The art's being handled tremendously well. Honestly, like Samurai 8 is starting to hit it's starting to hit its stride right now. It's starting to hit it at a really well pace. I'm really glad that Kishimoto and Okubo have really started to figure out their good coordination of how they want to tell the story, between giving us some character development, giving us some action, giving us some lore. And again, the art and the fights have just all been interesting in their own way. Each fight brings its own new intricate pattern to the story, like how Hachimaru notices the key holder has 2 big weapons, but the other samurai has a trident, and how his fighting style could change depending on, however Hachimaru attacked, and how Hachimaru predicted all of that. And then we got Ryu's fighting style, and we got the Swan Samurai's fighting style. Like, the Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck comparison, like, we've really started to hit our stride with the series, like, and I'm just really happy to be reading this week to week. And I'm so glad that I was able to play out this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Like, I really love doing this. I love the community. Like, 8 Mini, Jonathan, Trevor, Moy-kun, I'm dropping names, but these are their ats on Twitter. These are like the main people I interact with. Light One, he's a YouTuber, Defar, and all the other samurai fans that I've just interacted with, and Luna, Jazz. Like, it's just it's just such a warming community. Inside the story, outside the story, like the communication, the discussions, and everything, the theories, and it's just all been amazing week to week for me, and I'm glad to be a part of this community. And it's just keep growing at the same time. Like, I'm seeing new people week to week talking about Samurai 8, or just getting into it and saying they like really enjoy it. So that's really dope for me to see. I'm really hyped to see where this series continues to go. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.